Shabbat Shalom. Our scripture reading for today is Acts chapter 4, verses 10 through 12. Be it known unto you all, and to all the people of Israel, that by the name of Yahshua the Mashiach of Nazareth, whom you crucified, whom Elohim raised from the dead, even by him does this man stand here before you whole. This is the stone which was set at naught of you builders, which is become the head of the corner. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection today, there is no other name.
The oracles of the UCI, 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you're sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication, and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth. Therefore, let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on the Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Now, we are about to enter into their so-called Black History Month. And we're probably going to get a lot of other things for us to try to pay attention to because there are certain things that people just do not like for us to mention. And it's a double-edged sword when you deal with the Gentiles. The Gentiles do not want to discuss the real things that they have committed against us. And then the Jewish do not want it to be discussed because it needs to be that they have to get all of the sympathy on the face of the earth. And if it looks like somebody is feeling sorry for anybody else, then that becomes a threat to them. It was strange how that would even be a threat to you. But if you are pretending to be somebody else, the last thing you want to do is to have people start to feel sorry or connect with this group of people about what you've done to them. And we can see that even in the push, what got the brother from CNN fired, going and talking, you know, on a worldwide stage, feeling sorry for the Palestinians. Right away, they used their Jewish influence, and he was out of a job before the sentence was complete. And you find that type of thing happening to make sure that certain stories are not heard. The push to keep the 1619 Project out of schools. They went to the extent of passing laws to make sure that the 1619 Project would not be read in schools. Yet, they got gay and lesbian books that they are reading in school, but you can't read about what happened, what their ancestors did to ours in this whole slavery and the building of America. You can't hear that. But they got a book called The Gay BCs. The Gay BCs is taught to children so that they'll learn. I mean, it's like a Dr. Seuss for your little kid to be introduced into gayisms. So then each letter is for a different abominable practice, and this is how they learn they gay BCs. Now that can be in school, but this cannot. If you don't think that Babylon is headed for destruction, you just have not been paying attention. When the truth can't be allowed in, but the thing that Yahweh said is abominable is forced in, there is something when people say, oh, you waiting for, hoping for America's destruction. America's doing just a fine job on its own of making its destruction. Nobody has to try to destroy it. It is destroying itself. Whenever you send the majority of your money to go and take care of other people in other countries instead of the people in your country, you're on your way for destruction. A nation is just a bunch of families. So if you break it down to a family, if you put more of your time, energy, and resources into another house and not your own, I can tell you that you're going to have problems in your house. So I'm finding dandy to help the neighbor pay their light bill. But it's yours on. You can't help them pay their light bill and you in the dark. So nobody is pushing for the destruction. We're just paying attention. That if you are wanting to destroy something, this is how you would do it. Just keep on going about this way. And one of those things that they want to make sure in this process that we are kept in the dark. And as we get to dealing with the things that happen unto us, when we talk about the curses, it is a very, very large thing. I mean, you have to, it is why you have all of these people, especially the Ish, want to debunk Deuteronomy 28. How can you believe in the Torah and debunk anything in the Torah? That pretty much says that there's a serious issue with you. You claim your existence based on a set of books that you then need to debunk to then say that you are the people. Wait. You use the book to say that you are the people, but you need to debunk the book to say they ain't the people. So how do you push a book and debunk it at the same time? Well, see, I got to make you read it in Hebrew. See, if you not read it in Hebrew, then we don't have to pay. You see how the game is played? You see how the game? See, then I can draw. Now, if you spend all your time trying to learn Hebrew, there's a whole lot of other stuff that you ain't learning. And now they got you pulled into their system. I watched a video where the guy said, you can be a Jew, just come and be converted. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing the Ethiopian Jews was complaining about. What you mean I need to convert? The Ethiopian Jews said, we never seen a white Jew. They don't put that on TV. The Ethiopians said, where white Jews come from? We never knew that they could be white. But it's funny. They don't really accuse them of anti-Semitism when they say that. Now, isn't that interesting? How How is it that they don't say that to the Ethiopian Jews? That's an interesting question. So today what we're going to deal with is we're going to deal with the curses, but because they're so vast, we're just going to deal with the curses from a medical aspect. And I think what we often deal with, because there's so many things in the curses, from one verse to the next verse, you'll be up and down and you'll be all over into dealing with that. So we're going to slow it down a little bit. We're going to deal with it in sections so that we can relate some of this to the things that are happening unto us. So today's sermon is entitled American Medical Malpractice from a Biblical Perspective. And what we're dealing with is these phases of the curses. So we're going to begin in Deuteronomy chapter 28, and we're going to read verses 45 through 51. Deuteronomy 28 and verses 45 through 51.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon you, and shall pursue you, and overtake you, till you be destroyed. Because you hearken not unto the voice of Yahweh your El, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded you.
Now, you would not think that a group of people would not want that to be read. But when you are praised all over the world for having so much money and owning so many things, the last thing you need for people to point out is how much you should be punished. So what has to happen is you have to then make believe like other things are punishment. All of a sudden, Kanye, he didn't take his medicine that day. And he decided to say a whole lot of things. All of a sudden, those words are so dangerous. They could lead to physical harm. Sticks and stones, lady. Sticks and stones. We hear those kind of words on the daily. So, but you got to make that a bigger problem, because it's very, very hard to make people feel sorry for you when you own the stadium. So you got to find some other way to make those people feel like you're being oppressed, because it sure ain't oppression in your pocket. Go ahead.
And they shall be upon you for a sign and for a wonder, and upon your seed forever. Because you serve not Yahweh your El with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
Now understand, these are the things that we were punished for. Now you have this thing where people say they are non-practicing Jews. What the hell is that? Can we say, I'm a non-practicing black? You know what I'm saying? I'm black, but I don't really practice it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not black in the existence. You know what I'm saying? I'm black in the atmosphere. What? Right. Go ahead.
So while you practicing not to take the benefits that come along with being Jew?
No. Want all the benefits. Now, but I'm not practicing any of the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing. Now, and here's where the question comes in. How are you then able to reap the benefits without doing them? Because we were punished for not doing them. And Yahweh set a clear distinction, and we read that in 2 Kings 17, that the imposters, if you will, who were brought in could serve their other gods and still stay in the land. We were kicked out for doing what the imposters were able to do. So then you take a look at Israel now. If we read the Torah and the Torah is your basis, how are you still in the land? How are you still there? Because you should have got kicked out as soon as the Gay BC book was published. You were supposed to get kicked out that day. How are you still there? Oh, because that punishment is not on the converts, only those of the real natural heritage. Interesting. Go ahead.
because you serve not Yahweh your Elohim with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shall you serve your enemies which Yahweh shall send against you, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon your neck until he have destroyed you.
So you understand why a certain groups of people have to debunk this, because even though people try to claim, even when this farce is being told, you know, there's a connection between the black and the Jewish people. Yeah, I know, because we both of them. It's a joke that you didn't get. When they tell the joke, you don't get it. You be like, yeah, right. No. It really is. There's a real connection between black and Jewish. I am both. That's the only connection. There's no connection between me and you. There is a connection between black and Jewish. So when you start to examine this, you can see why people don't want to have you discuss this, because when they claim, you know, we were slaves just like your people. Oh yeah? When was that? Well, in Egypt. Okay, well, but Deuteronomy was given after Egypt. So you have to present to me a slavery after Egypt. You can't keep telling the lie of Egypt. And let me tell you something, they didn't have that kind of SPF in the sunscreen. You wasn't out there building no pyramids. Come on now. Now, if it was a pyramid of accounting, you know what I'm saying? If it was an accounting pyramid, then damn it, you built that. You built that. If it was a law pyramid, damn it, you built that. But this was physical stuff with real blocks that had to be moved. You didn't build that. Okay? He said these people built cities. You didn't build that. So you don't want people to read this, because it becomes apparent that, wait a minute, we can find the yoke of iron that was put upon our neck. And this is Deuteronomy 28. Okay, present to us where this happened to you. And with all of these curses, not one part do we read about a gas chamber or any of the things that took place in the Holocaust. I did not say the Holocaust didn't exist. What I said is it don't exist in Deuteronomy 28. That's a problem, because my God says, I tell you the ending before the beginning. So did Yahweh fall asleep in this whole generation? When Yahweh was making sure that everything was going in this book, did he get distracted by a comment? Oh man, that's beautiful. Oh man, I just missed 30 years. What happened? What happened that it ain't in here? That's my question. That's a question, not a statement. It's a question. Why is it not in here if he tells us the ending before the beginning? Because understand, when he wrote this wasn't happening to us. So for somebody to claim a connection to you from a thing that happened only to you is downright disrespectful. Not only is it disrespectful, but when I go back in the records, I find that you were some of the slave owners who put the yoke of iron around my neck. So now you're going to tell me that we are connected because of that? Me and you connected. You don't remember me? I was the one who put the thing around your neck. Yeah, I tightened it up so you couldn't breathe. Remember? You don't remember? We supposed to have a connection for that? Go ahead.
Yahweh shall bring a nation against you from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies.
And we know that the eagle is the symbol of Rome, and we know that the eagle is also a symbol of America. Now, here's the problem. You got to find these connections for other individuals, and they can't find those connections, so they need you to stop reading it. So whenever your enemy tells you to stop reading something, that's what you need to read more. Because there's something in it that bothers him. So you don't let them convince you to stop reading Deuteronomy 20. You need to be reading it every other day. Matter of fact, every time they tell you and they come in front of you, start reading it. Because it's going to burn the fabric of who they are because they know didn't happen to them. Whenever you get rich, powerful movie moguls like Adam Sandler that said, you know, we were supposed to have been slaves in Egypt. Oh, he let you know he don't believe that. Why he say it like that? Because he know, man, come on. We were slaves. Come on. He didn't even believe. He don't. This is something that's being handed down. They don't believe that. And you got to stop letting people talk you out of the very thing that explains who you are. Go ahead.
A nation whose tongue you shall not understand.
Uh-huh.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Uh-huh.
And he shall eat the fruit of your cattle and the fruit of your land until you be destroyed.
Uh-huh.
Which also shall not leave you either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of your kind, or flocks of your sheep, until he have destroyed you.
Right. So this very verse explains why we would not be the richest people on the face of the planet. So when the richest people on the planet claim that they are Jews, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. I just watched a video where they was talking about a guy was saying, you know, how are the Jewish people so rich? And he said he asked the Jewish man, and he said, well, when one of us get rich, 5 or 6 of us get rich. Because we all share money with each other and we all keep doing business. He said this guy's in his 30s and he got $6-7 million in the bank. How are all of y'all this rich? I have that same question. Verse 51, and he shall eat the fruit of your cattle and the fruit of your land until he have destroyed you. Who the hell is he? Because they not met he. They ain't met he. Which also shall not leave you corn, wine, or all other increase of your kind. Obviously, they have not met he. Whoever he is that's supposed to get their stuff, they haven't met he. Or flocks of your sheep until he have destroyed you. They still have not met he. So I have the same question, and this was a Gentile who was asking the question about the Jewish riches. I have the same question. How are you so rich? Because in the Torah that you say explains who you are, it says that something else is going to happen to those people until the return of the Mashiach. Go ahead.
And he shall besiege you in all your gates until your high and fenced walls come down, wherein you trusted throughout all your land. And he shall besiege you in all your gates throughout all your land, which Yahweh your Elohim has given you.
Right. Here go he again. Now, what's interesting is he who has done it to us is the same one who put them in the land. So the connection that we got is different. When people say, oh, there's a connection between the blacks and the Jews. Yes. He who oppressed me placed you in the land. Oh, yeah, we definitely got a connection. So you met he, but you met he differently. See? Right. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 43. And I apologize, y'all, for being so, behind. I'm sore in my shoulder. I picked up something and I shouldn't have picked it. Sometimes you have to look at the weight rating on something. You know what I'm saying? You have to do that, man, when you're old and you realize that you can't pick that up. I should have looked at the weight rating on it, what I tried to pick up. I tried to pick up me. And I realized, you know what? It's a whole lot more me than it used to be. I should have looked at the weight rating on that thing and said, boy, don't pick that up. So I'm moving a little slow right now. Isaiah 43, let's start at verse 1.
But now
when you get that message from Yahweh and tell you, that text message that say you are not 20 years old no more. Holla back. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
But now thus says Yahweh that created you, O Jacob, and he that formed you, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name, you are mine.
Right. I have called you by your name, you are mine. So it was a big thing of the heathen to make sure that your name was changed. It was a real big thing of the heathen to make sure that your name represented the names of the people who owned you. When they took over our people, you know, those prophets, Daniel, you know, Hananiah, Azariah, Mishael, they had to take pagan names. So they walked in two entities. One name in front of the heathen, another name in front of the children of Israel. See, your name denotes your ethnicity and the God that you worship. See, when I say I'm going to meet my friend Sadiq, you got a picture in your head and a God. I say I'm going to meet my friend Bill, you got a picture in your head and the God that Bill worships. The problem, now we Bills too. Now we Richards. Now we Marks. We all these things. So when somebody look at your name, what they say? I don't know if that's a black guy or I don't know if he worships, you know, he worships Christ. I can tell it's a Christian name. See, that's what your name is supposed to say. I guarantee you, man, that whole time I was in the hospital, they kept looking at that name. When they got to the point where they had to ask my family, what kind of man is he? Why the hell you need that? Why do you need that information? Just save this man. Well, we just want to, you know they can't say nothing right. Esaac? What? Israel? Where y'all from? Look, man, don't worry about that. Hey. Oh, that was stunning, everybody, because understand it's a constant flow of people that come. It's not just one group of people. So then every group of people got to come by, and they looking at the paperwork. That's him. Okay. All right, Esaac. Let's see what we gonna do today. Yeah. All right. Go ahead, bro.
You know, when you touch on this whole name thing, right? You got to think about how we can understand where our last names came from. Right? So if the people with the name Goldstein and Bergs and all that, we should be able to find a captivity where they were enslaved to Goldsteins and Goldbergs and got their last name, right?
Right. I have found, you know, a brother who I saw that had a Jewish name, and it threw me off when I seen the brother with that name. I said, man, that's normally a Jewish name. And I don't know why it threw me off, because I hadn't really considered that they own slaves too. So normally when you find that connection, it's the other way around. Like you find us with a name, and then you find that, oh, there was somebody who owned them with that name, you know? And it's quite interesting. This is why when we make that move to change our name, then people know, okay, this person knows something. They have gotten to that point where they have made a decision. And you don't never think you're going to be in a situation where you can't speak for your name and then your name got to speak for you. See, when you passed out on the table and they got a tube in your mouth, you're not speaking for your name. Your name got to speak for you. So when they see Charlie Johnson, they got to figure out, well, what kind of Charlie is this? See, you never take that into consideration until you just don't have a choice. When you do not have a choice, you have to let your name speak for you. Now, what is that name that's going to speak for you? What is it going to say? When they look up there and they see Charlie Johnson and your life is in their hand. Now understand now, these are Gentile, a whole lot of Gentiles. It's some brothers, it's all kinds of people that are coming in there. And I'm talking about, man, these Gentiles really put the work in to bring a brother back home. But they was also asking some questions. Because everybody that came to see me was in full culture. Wasn't no Pookies, wasn't no Man, wasn't no Ray Rays, wasn't no Nays. None of them came to see me. Everything that came to see me had on a dress and a crown. And they kept looking at that name.
See, you know what? He one of those niggas. See, he not one of these niggas. See, there's two types of niggas. There's these niggas and those niggas. He's definitely not one of these niggas. Because we done seen these before. But we never seen those. You got to figure out what kind of those right there.
Right. Soon as I was able, a kufi went on my head in the hospital bed. And they coming in looking. They just, what kind of dude is this here? You know, I'm looking all scraggly and had to cut a whole chunk out my beard. As soon as I got able to sit up straight, my folks came in there with the clippers and cut my hair, and they come by like, when we get a barbershop in the hospital? When the hell we get a barbershop? They like, well, look, the folk in 228, they want one too. Well, y'all, I mean, who else? Nah, brother, they just here for me. I'm sorry. I'm the only one getting a cut today. Right. Go ahead, brother.
It says, chapter 43 and verse 2, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burnt.
No. Not if you walk through the fire. When you walk through the fire. See, our problem is we trying to avoid everything. How you gonna get stronger? The whole art of working out is you tearing up the muscle. Now, I tore mine up too much. You ain't supposed to tear it up that much. All right, you tear it up, and when it come back stronger and bigger. You keep trying to avoid the workout, but think that when the battle happens against Satan, you gonna have strength. You fooling yourself. Because let me tell you something. Satan got his minions working out every day. While you avoiding, Satan minions getting ready. Go ahead.
Neither shall the flame kindle upon you. For I am Yahweh your Elohim, the Holy One of Israel, your Savior. I gave Egypt for your ransom, Ethiopia and Seba for you. Since you was precious in my sight, you have been honorable, and I have loved you. Therefore will I give men for you, and people for your life.
Right. The men that he give for you may be the very individuals that he let fall in front of you. He let them be an example of what not to do. Now, they're not going to get any credit for that, though. He said, no, I gave men before. I made sure you would see the error of this way of life. I made sure to let them live it right in front of you. Go ahead.
Fear not, for I am with you. I'll bring your seed from the east and gather you from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far and my daughters from the ends of the earth.
Right. So we then see that there is a push to get the children of Israel back to their land, and they're not all coming from one place. These are things why people do not want you to be well versed in this book. Because although people may be able to control media, they cannot control the flow of information as to what's going inside your brain. Now, if you only rely on the media for your information, then they can control. If you have to go to their schools, and understand, they're going to put certain books in their school, and there's certain other books that you're never going to see. there are other books that have certain types of knowledge that you're never going to see because they're never going to allow it in their school. The 1619 Project is proof of that. Anything that goes against what they want, anything about natural healing, if you're going to be a doctor, you ain't getting that. You don't even know it exists.
What you mean, natural healing?
When a doctor told me,
If I'd have known y'all was gonna do natural childbirth, I wouldn't have never chose y'all as clients. So natural childbirth is not natural.
man, if I didn't have a pregnant woman in here right now, there's all kind of cans of whoop ass that I would open right here. I'm talking about ice cold. Ice cold. I spill some of it on the floor because I pull out something just for the homies who ain't here. You understand what I'm saying to you? But I'm focused on this woman who been in labor for almost 24 hours. I really can't open up this can of whoop ass. But if you'd like to schedule a date, I sure would like to see you again. Read, please.
Bring my sons from far and my daughters from the ends of the earth, even everyone that is called by my name. For I have created him for my glory. I have formed him. Yes, I have made him.
Right. So Yahweh says, I have created him for my glory. So then there's that question of why were we made slaves? Understand? He says, I created you for my glory. You decided that you were not going to serve me. So now you are going to serve your enemies. And when we decide, well, I'm going to do this because I'm still, I'm still in a gray area about, what's the gray area? Your instructions, your ancestors already agreed to it. The instructions already there. It's all right. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to put you in a gray area. You're going to go serve your enemies until you realize who you're supposed to be serving. See, that's the only way we figure out something. When we realize, wait a minute, my servitude seems to be much harder where I am, right? Because you ain't figured out who you're supposed to be serving. When you figure out who you're supposed to be serving, then he says, he will even cause your enemies to be at peace with you. Them same rednecks that were giving you hell were just out of nowhere. You know what? I was thinking, you always riding the bus here. And I got a car sitting here. We ain't drove this car in over 2 years. Do you need a car? Hell yeah, I need a car. Well, here go the keys. And you sitting there like, what? You scared to take the keys? Because these folks been giving you hell for 2 years. What was the change of heart? You must be doing something right with your God, right? Then maybe, see, somebody else got to tell you for you to figure out, oh, understand the earth and the fullness therein is his. Even those that do evil to you, he opened up the door to let it come to you. Now, why did he do that? Okay, go ahead.
Bro, as you sitting here and you talking about the deals that our forefathers signed, I'm sitting here like, damn, that's an irrevocable trust.
Yeah.
Hey.
Right. Ain't that something?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Verse 8, bring forth the blind people that have eyes and the deaf that have ears. Let all the nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled. Who among them can declare this and show us former things? Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may be justified. Or let them hear and say, it is truth. You are my witnesses, says Yahweh, and my servant whom I have chosen, that you may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. Before me there was no El formed, neither shall there be after me. I, even I, am Yahweh, and beside me there is no Savior. I have declared and have saved, and I have showed when there was no strange God among you. Therefore you are my witnesses, says Yahweh, that I am El. Yea, before the days was, I am he, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it?
There is none that can deliver out of my hand, but we'll try. We'll try to seek us some other kind of relief. You know, we're going to bypass Yahweh. And sometimes what we do, we don't necessarily say that we're going to bypass Yahweh. What we do is we think that we're going to bypass the route that Yahweh has set up.
So I'm gonna go, but see, I don't need to go, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to be a part of no organization. See, I don't need to be a part of, you know what I'm saying, no church. You know, I don't need to, you know, listen to no man. See, the church is inside. See, the church is inside me. See, I am the church.
Well, that's one nasty church. That is one disgusting church. That's it. Right. Go ahead.
You know, I was laughing because back in Deuteronomy 28, when you were saying that they haven't been visited by he, Yahweh back here now says, I am he.
Yeah, right. Right. It's funny how they're he. I tell you, they on the other side of he. Still, they on the other side of he. Matter of fact, they won't even say he name. How you gonna be a part of he, but you can't say he name? Go ahead.
Thus says Yahweh, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. For your sake I've sent to Babylon and have brought down all their nobles and the Chaldeans whose cry is in the ships.
Right, and for us to be redeemed, this is exactly what's going to have to happen. I'm going to have to visit Babylon, and I'm going to pull them down. Go ahead.
I am Yahweh, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King.
I am Yahweh. Now, if he says you ought to extol him by his name, Yah, how is it that you have a group of people who claim all the power of Yah, but can't say Yah? Something is seriously wrong with that. But yet you can have your own name that has Yah in it, but you can't say Yah when you're talking about him. What? But you're not supposed to have enough sense to question that. You're supposed to be so indoctrinated that you are afraid to look them in the eye and have a conversation. Go ahead.
You know, you often hear people talking about how Christ comes on the scene in the New Testament. Right there in verse 15, he's talking about him. He says, I'm Yahweh, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King.
Your King. Right. At that baptism, when I said, this is my son in whom I'm well pleased, who you think that was that went into the body of Yahshua? Right. Go ahead.
Thus says Yahweh, which makes a way in the sea and a path in the mighty waters, which bring forth the chariot and horse, the army and the power. They shall lie down together, they shall not rise. They're extinct, they're quenched as tow. Remember you not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I'll do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The beasts of the field shall honor me, the dragons and the owls, because I give waters in the wilderness and rivers in the desert to give drink to my people, my chosen.
Right. Yahweh said, I can lead you to a place where there ain't no water. Then I make water go to the place where you at. You trying to go to a place where it's water. Remember now, it was Lot chose a land and Abram chose a land. Lot chose the one that looked like it was more physically suitable. Yahweh knew this. Abram, whatever land you choose gonna be suitable. If you choose that one with them abominations in it, I'm gonna kill all of them out. If you choose this desert, out of nowhere, a spring of water gonna shoot out of the, you gonna damn near drown in the desert. I got you. You understand? But I gotta get you away from him. Because I'm making a covenant with you, not him. Now that's your family who you decided to bring along. That's all fine and dandy, but it's time to separate. Will we even know when that time comes? Or are we still trying to drag around some old baggage? And then we let the baggage help us to make or not make a decision. The baggage ain't even supposed to be there. Not only is the baggage not supposed to be there, now you letting the baggage make the decision that you're supposed to make. Well, I'm not really ready for, all this agreement thing with Yahweh. Oh, okay, well, I'll wait. Oh, you gonna wait because they're not ready. Y'all be like, oh, I'm about to show him fat meat greasy. I'm about to show you about to learn today. Right. Go ahead.
This people have I formed for myself.
I formed for myself. They are mine. So when you have to serve somebody else, it is a part of the curse. Y'all don't understand that we live in a curse every day that we got to go and clock in? Mm-hmm. So what we do is we go to college and we go to training programs so we can be a better slave. Because we don't want to be like these niggas. We want to be like those niggas. All right? So we want to go to school so we can be, because we don't want to serve down here because we learn it's levels of servitude. You know what I'm saying? Hey, them people at McDonald's deserve to get paid. That's some hard labor in there. You sliding around that greasy floor. It's work going on in there. So you learn, look, there's certain levels that, I don't want to be. I watch them guys. I cut my grass. But I need a nap when I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes cut grass and then go to another house. Oh, no. When I cut grass, that's the last grass that's going to get cut that week. Not that day. There's no other grass. If my mama called me and said, there's a demon in my grass, I'm saying, Mama, you better pray. Because I can't cut no more grass this week. You understand what I'm saying to you? There's no more grass getting cut this week. This is all the grass that I can physically cut. So I knew right away, I got to be a different kind of servant. Because that's not my servitude right there. That's not mine. That's not mine. I buy all the good grass cutting utensils. All right, I got nothing but the best. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever makes this job quicker, I need it. Now I'm trying to get me one of them zero turns. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You don't even have the steering wheel on. You know what I'm saying? The damn thing turn. It's like a transformer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it can go all the way to the corner and then turn on you. It's like that. Y'all ever had the green machine, that little big wheel? Well, you know what I'm saying? It didn't have no steering wheel. You know what I'm saying? The green machine had that. Boy, that was an awesome thing. In my mind, I'm still a kid. I want that damn green machine. I want that green machine. Matter of fact, I want my lawnmower green. You know what I'm saying? So I can do that thing, and I'm gonna make the sound right when I get to a corner. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna do that sound thing. I know my family's gonna be like, here you go again. Here you go again. But anyway, let me go ahead, bro.
They shall show forth my praise.
All right, you finished that?
Yep.
All right. So what I wanna the brother to read to you is something out of the 1619 project. And one of the reasons I want to read it is because other people don't want you to hear it. So let's read this. This is called The White Lion from the 1619 project. Go ahead, bro.
The White Lion by Claudia Rankin. Even dawn begins before its beginning, and still, in the tale of the beginning, that forestalls an end, let's agree, a long way from the kingdom of Ndongo. 2 English ships pirate 1/3 the Portuguese Sao João Batista and split up its human cargo. The first vessel to land at Point Comfort on the James River enters history. And thus history enters Virginia as 20 and odd Negroes are offloaded from the White Lion, the man of war carrying movables, blacks stripped to Christian names. The White Lion, carrying a man-made fate, makes landfall while Virginia, beginning its system of land grants, whitens white indentured servants by bestowing on them property.
Right. So then servants were then given property. So when you talk about how wild and how perverted slavery was, you're not talking about a higher class people who ruled over a lower class people. What you're talking about is a lower class people who all of a sudden came in charge of people. The book says when the servant bears rule, the people mourn. Why? Because he's wicked with power. He don't know how to handle power because he just got it. And now he getting his rocks off and doing everything that he felt unempowered to do before. He's doing it all to you. Like when you encountered a policeman who used to get beat up in school and they used to put him in the locker. Oh, that's going to be the dude who's going to treat you the worst. Get on your knees. Put your hands on the steering wheel. Now give me your license. Put your hands back on the steering wheel. But give me your license. Now how the hell I'm going to do both of these? What's wrong with him? They used to put him in the locker. You go back and you're going to find pictures of him in the trophy case. Is that Officer Johnson? Yeah, that's Officer Johnson right there. They used to put him in a trophy case. Now, he done took some weight gain and got a badge. And now he got to punish everybody for what happened to him. Understand, this is what we became. So when Yahweh put these curses on you, these curses were serious because these people are angry about being servants. Now they got servants. Go ahead.
Hey, remember the video we watched last week where the guy was talking about he's Native American and only 20 slaves was brought here?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I guess this is where he getting it from, the first set that came. So you just thought it was just
apparently
that one?
they just stopped right there. Apparently they didn't bring no more niggeronis right here. It was no more negroidal visits after this. Apparently that's what he said. And it's funny, he used that same number, didn't he? He was stuck right there and he said that was it. Go ahead.
Whitens whites who through the act of trading victuals for the stolen renamed unfree transatlantic labor, their griefs, transient, in reason much inferior, and inaugurated masters, as if any black would, as if anyone could, surrender their value, human, to tobacco, sugar, and cotton, the yields of Powhatan lands.
Right. So when it comes down to this thing that we were sold for goods, not even money. You know, you got to understand how thick the system of bartering was then. So then the bartering is, I'm going to give you, this barrel of cognac. And you're going to give me these many Negroes. I'm telling y'all, it's the reason why we like that brown. Man, the brown was valued by us. It's my duty to have a little Cavassier every now and then. My people got sold for this. You understand how much, if people say, sometimes, how we know there are spirits among us. What if the spirit of a slave is sitting there watching me as I sip? They'd be like, boy, we done made it. Look at that. Look at that. That's a brother. He one of us. Look how he sipped that. And that's a fine glass he drank in that cup. Where did he get that glass? Right. You got to understand, man. Hey, they might love to sit down and have a drink with us because they saw them drinks. They was getting sold for that liquor. They didn't get to partake in it. Go ahead.
While Virginia writes itself colonial, filling its first property ledger with 20 and odd of the uprooted 12 million, including Anthony and Isabella, who, out of the White Lion's hole, step into the whole of history to give birth to the first child to take the first steps provisionally toward African American in Virginia, William, so-called born free, they say, though all the while Virginians' wilds still sail across centuries, leaving a wake with each recurring swell, drowning out what Anthony and Isabella said to William about love, in Kimbundu, do, or Kikongo, as if he could stop knowing how to know what we know.
Right. How shall we sing the song of Yahweh in a strange land? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 60. See, the first thing we have to do is understand the level of the curse. And when we deal with that, then we can start dealing with the multifaceted areas of how the curse affects us. See, people want you to stay in the first 14 verses of Deuteronomy 28, where it only talks about the blessings. And this is all other individuals are going to talk about. They are not going to discuss the rest of those verses after 14. When it started hitting 15, they like, all right, we stop reading. We only need to discuss blessings. And you can only discuss blessings if you are millionaires and billionaires. You can't discuss this other stuff if your people are not suffering. You cannot read this. So then you have to make believe a struggle. You have to make believe that your life is in danger because, this person set a post, and that post was so dangerous, it could lead to war against our people. If that's the case, we'd be long dead. If every word meant a death, there wouldn't be no more of us. Go ahead, brother. Isaiah chapter 60. Let's start at verse 1.
Arise, shine, for your light is come, and the glory of Yahweh is risen upon you. For, behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But Yahweh shall arise upon you, and his glory shall be seen upon you.
Now, this is what angers other individuals. The glory of Yahweh is going to be placed upon you. They don't want that to happen. So the first thing they have to attack is your mind, so that you are the greatest hindrance to Yahweh's glory being placed upon you. Go ahead.
I've said it before. We've always had that influence and power. But if we start walking in Yahweh's way, then what's going to become? Because we can see that we influence everything. So we've always had that. So that's the biggest scare.
Right.
If we start walking in righteousness, it's done.
Well, that's what the whole thing was about that you find in the Maccabees. Come and let's change their culture. All right? So this is why they said, okay, you're an old man. Look, pretend like you ate this pork. All right? The people will see you. You have such great influence. When a brother said, you know what, I'd rather die than to eat that pork chop sandwich. That falls on strange ears to us. We don't understand how to process that. Why would a man be willing to die to not eat a ham sandwich? He knows what it's going to do when the rest of his people see that. He knows that he carries weight and influence. So they know if we can get you. So first, they tried to make him do it. He said no. When they couldn't make him do it, they said, all right, well, look, we'll cut a deal. We're going to show a ham sandwich, right? Then we're gonna turn your halfway around, and we're going to slip you the turkey, all right? Now, you eat the turkey, and then this is just like a commercial, you know what I'm saying? You eat the turkey,
Man, that was some good ham.
that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. All right, you ready? Action. Nah, man, I can't do it. It's hard for us to even consider that somebody stood on those kind of principles, that they'll be willing to die. I mean, every last one of us. You put us in that situation, we like, all right, how much ham is in the sandwich? How much ham? What kind of ham is it? What do you mean what kind of ham is it? It's a ham. But then we living in a different time. Most of us was eating ham before we got here. Some of y'all still got pork on your lips right now. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 3, and the Gentiles shall come to your light.
Hey, when I first came out of the word, it was when I came into the word, came out of Christendom. Hey, it blew me that you couldn't eat certain things. This kind of stuff wasn't never mentioned. That wait a minute. There's an order to this. find out, man, that stuff that you eating that you think is a delicacy, this shrimp and this lobster, man, those the roaches of the sea. You eating sea roaches. I can't wait to get paid so I can get me some sea roach. I remember being in the class with the book open, with my feelings hurt. Because I know that once I hit it, I done ate my last sea roach. But I wish I'd had some warning. I would have ate a couple more roaches right before. You know what I'm saying? I would have had just a couple. You mean that's my last one? Man, dip it, hurry up, dip it. You know, I would have ate one more. But when Yahweh said that's it. See, I couldn't go back for no more sea roach. That's it. I know if I go back.
Sin with knowledge.
Right. Go ahead.
And kings to the brightness of your rising. Lift up your eyes round about, and see. All they gather themselves together, they come to you. Your sons shall come from far, and your daughters shall be nursed at your side. Then you shall see, and flow together, and your heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto you. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto you.
Now, wait a minute. Now, verse 3 says, and the Gentiles shall come to your light. Then it says, the forces of the Gentiles shall come unto you. What are their forces? Their wealth, their might, their military power. Yeah, all that's going to be given unto you. That's why I said, people think they tricking Yahweh. People think that Yahweh will be mocked. So they go out and they do all of these things and think that he's going to be fooled. No, he's watching everything. Like you watch all of these people. What I find when you look at, especially since the whole Kyrie thing, now you got Hebrews that they can't do a video without putting Kyrie in the video. We don't know if Kyrie has kept one Sabbath. You know what I do know? The one thing that I have not heard in any of them so-called things that they putting out and they attaching Kyrie's name on, I don't hear the name of Yahweh no way in there. That's how the whole thing started. He said he was searching for the name of Yahweh. Okay, well, check this out. How is it that every time I see a Purple interview, I look at one, there's 3 pictures of the same dude on the thing. Why the hell I need to see 3 pictures of you? Now they pushing themselves, but what's funny, nowhere in the video will they say what he was searching for. He was searching for Yahweh. How is it I don't hear his name in none of these programs? How is it I don't hear the name of Yahweh in any of this speaking? I find that other than interesting. But I hear your name. Hell, I see your picture 3 times on one screen. It's you looking at you, looking at you. What the hell I need you to look at you for? So it's a whole lot of you, but none of he. Now, that's rather interesting. Go ahead.
The multitude of camels shall cover you. The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praises of Yahweh. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto you. The rams of Naboth shall minister unto you. They shall come up with the acceptance on mine altar, and I'll glorify the house of my glory. Who are these that fly as a cloud, and as the doves to their windows? Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring my sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of Yahweh your El, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he has glorified you.
Right, and this very thing is the reason why, you hear a lot of people talking about reparations, but if we got reparations here, we'd be broke in 30 days, because we would put all of our money right back into the place that has stolen all of our resources. So what Yahweh did to the children of Israel coming out of Egypt, they got their reparations on the way out. Then you use those things to build where Yahweh is sending you. Giving us reparations here wouldn't do. We have a whole bunch of nothing. gold and platinum would be like dust. It would just be falling down the street. What's that? Oh, I platinum coated my shoelaces. But what I didn't think about is, damn, I can't time after I put the platinum on now. You know what I'm saying? So that's why my shoes keep coming off. Right. You didn't think about that. Y'all don't remember the rap fool who put the diamond in his head? You remember the fool?
Yep.
And the fool just started talking about, you know, for some reason, my brain, it keep leaking down my forehead. You think? You put something that cuts in your head. How do you lodge a jewel in your head and you thought it was going to stay there? Sometimes I be having headache. You don't say. For real? You mean sometimes your head hurt? What? Who would have thunk it? That's why they can't get no money here. Put a diamond in your head. But you could have put a headband. You know what I'm saying? I mean, put the diamond in the headband. You don't put the diamond in the head. I mean, go ahead, man.
And the sons of strangers shall build up your walls, and their kings shall minister unto you.
Right, because see, you had to build all of these things before. Now somebody got to build those for you. See, this is Yahweh even in the score. That's why we don't ever have to worry about even in the score on our own. He got this. Let him do his job. You stop trying to do it. Go ahead.
For in my wrath I smote you, but in my favor have I had mercy on you. Therefore your gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day or night, that men may bring unto you the forces of the Gentiles.
Your gate's going to have to stay open because they ain't going to be able to bring all of it during the daytime. Look, it done got night, but we still got the stuff to unload for Israel. But keep the gates open. Keep it coming. Come on. Come on. You know how much stuff that's got to be? Well, hold on now. All the earth participated in the mistreatment of the children of Israel. So all the riches that people think they got now, it's nothing compared to what we gonna have. Y'all think I be playing when I said somebody is decorating your house right now. You decorating that thing that you think is your house. That's an aquarium. Fish gonna swim through that. This place gonna be underwater. I mean, I know. At least I know when I decorate. You know, because when you married, you get talked into stuff. We should get this furniture. I'm like, ain't no furniture. A man don't need nothing but a refrigerator and a seat and a TV. At the game is there. The drinks are there. The seat is here facing where the game is. I'm straight. I don't know what the hell all this other stuff is. You know what I'm saying? It's when we get wives, we get all this other stuff. What the hell is this? These are called drapes. I had that before it was a sheet right there. You know hell, and then when I don't need it no more, I put it on the bed. Multi-purpose. Go ahead, bro.
And that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve you shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. The glory of Lebanon shall come on to you, the fir, the pine tree, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary. And I'll make the place of my feet glorious. The sons also of them that afflicted you shall come bending onto you.
The sons of them who afflicted you. When people say, well, I didn't own slaves. That's okay. Your great-granddaddy did. It didn't say he who owned you is going to do it. No. It says the sons of them who afflicted you. See, just like that agreement that we made that we are bound to, well, guess what? You are bound by the deeds of your forefathers. And somebody got to pay that debt. It's not my job to figure out who that somebody is. I know it when I see you at my feet.
Oh, you got to pay that. How you doing down there? How you doing? How you doing? No, don't, not the pinky toe. That one has a whole thing of its own. Yeah.
What? What? Yahweh wrote this. I didn't write this stuff. Go ahead.
And all they that despise you shall bow themselves down at the soles of your feet, and they shall call you the city of Yahweh, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas you have been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through you. I'll make you an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations.
Right, because you have to get paid for your labor. You have been made to labor for generations. Now it's time for you to get paid for generations. See, you work first, then you get paid. See? So you have people, especially younger brothers, they come in, Sock, man, it look like you got this going on, you got that going on. Yeah, but you didn't see when Sock was in the room crying, years back. You wasn't there. You see today's Sock. You didn't see yesterday's Sock. So then people think, I can just come and I can do it. No. You got to clock in. You got to clock in. See, I don't see enough holes in your time card. See, when you clock in, they put that hole in. See, I look at your time sheet as
You missing a lot of holes in there. A lot of holes in you ain't clocked in enough.
But we want that peace. We want these other things. You got to clock in for that. This stuff don't come in the beginning. It's because you have been made to suffer. Now I'm finna take care of you. And you got to think, if he gave you this while you still had the wrong people around you, you have then wasted his substance. Like we all want money. But what if he give you money right when you with Killer Bonita over here? Now, you use all your money with Killer Bonita. She don't really care for you like that, but you keep spending money, so she not leaving. But she not really into you like that. So then Yahweh let you run out of money. Then Killer Bonita show you who she really is. That's an absolute blessing for you that you don't even know. You needed to run out of money so she could show you who she really was. Then she go on by her way, and then Yahweh give you all your money back. So I was just taking it, man, because I see you wasn't going to leave Bonita. I was trying to tell you, and every time she go open the door, I make that sound, woo, but you didn't hear me. You didn't hear me. So I took your money, and then she started making that noise, right? Right. That's what happened when I take your money, then she, right. But I was just taking it for a minute. Go ahead.
Verse 16, you shall also suck the milk of the Gentiles and shall suck the breast of kings.
Now, this is symbolic because we had to breastfeed Master's children. See, you gotta read this and understand that there's a pregnant black woman. Now, people say they can't stand you. Yet, there's a white baby sucking a black breast. So Gentiles will give birth to babies, give the babies to the black woman to nurse her child. Meanwhile, her baby ain't eating because the white baby eat. But how you hate me, but my milking you? I hate your black skin, even your chocolate milk. Well, wait a minute. Chocolate milk was delicious. Right. What? How do you hate somebody and allow them to put their bodily fluids into your child? How can two of those things, if I hate you, man, let me tell you something. If I hate you, it's, hey, the line is crossed. There's no exchange of goods here. If I'm on fire, let me burn. Don't want your water. What? So these kind of things, when you read them, they sound strange. You shall also suck the milk of the Gentile. What? I mean, you gonna suck Gentile milk? I don't get this. Wait a minute. Well, you gotta understand, when a woman is breastfeeding, and the more the woman feeds, the more milk starts producing. So now, this woman at the point where she is full, because her body's like, I swear you only had one baby, but damn, every time I empty, another one is coming. So then her body said, all right, well, keep producing. Because now she got two babies feeding. The body said, I swore we didn't have twins. But this feeding is like it's twins. And then we assumed that was just only one. What if it was multiple Gentile babies? See, so when we look at the payment that Yahweh's given us, we got to think. Go ahead.
Just for you to say that, it takes a mentality to even go there. You hate somebody, but then you put your child to care for this baby that you got. Mm-hmm. And then what's the mind screw of the child as it grows up? Because, when babies are breastfeeding, they looking up in the face of the woman.
Right.
So at some point now, you got to now turn around and put hatred into
there
that
you
child.
go. I was waiting for you to get there. You got to do something to that child to make that child not have an affinity toward that person. So then you got to belittle that person. You got to dog that person out. You have to do all of those things in their sight so that they learn this person is just a servant. You are not to have any affinity to this person. Now, I could have breastfed you myself, but I didn't want to ruin my figure. I had thought, which, crazy as it is, it's the breastfeeding that causes the body to contract back down to the natural size that it was before. Yahweh's a genius. It is what pushes all the other things. The whole body, the hips move out the way, organs move out the way, everything moves because the baby is about to come down. Every time the baby gets on the breast, everything starts, the afterbirth, everything starts being pushed out. The body starts coming back together. So what you might have thought you were doing for your figure is really helping hers. Mm-hmm. That's why he can't stay out the back. Man, what? I know we ain't feeding y'all nothing, but you look nice out here. I'm going out back. Right. Go ahead, bro.
And you shall know that I, Yahweh, am your Savior and your Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. For brass, I will bring gold, and for iron, I'll bring silver, and for wood, brass, and for stones, iron. I will also make your officers peace, and your exactors righteousness. Violence shall no more be heard in your land, wasting nor destruction within your borders. But you shall call your walls salvation, and your gates praise. The sun shall be no more your light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto you. For Yahweh shall be unto you an everlasting light, and your Elohim your glory. Your sun shall no more go down, neither shall your moon withdraw itself. For Yahweh shall be your everlasting light, and the days of your mourning shall be ended. Your people also shall be all righteousness. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, Yahweh, will hasten it in his time.
All right, so let's go to Exodus chapter 1 now. See, the one thing that we don't consider is, that we would never be told this thing in Sunday church as to why, if God loved us just like he loved everybody else, how is it that we were made slaves? And when that question comes, you know, the people can't answer that question. But when you understand who you are, you can answer that question by what Yahweh said. I have created you for my glory. I created you for me. So because you decided to worship something else, it was a direct transgression against me. So you were created to serve. You are going to serve. All right? The question is, what are you going to serve and who are you going to serve? See, a bicycle going to get ridden. The question is, who going to ride the bicycle? You don't ride the bicycle, somebody going to ride the bicycle, but it's a bicycle, it was made to be ridden. This is what it was used. A hammer was made for a purpose. Now, you throw the hammer out in the yard. Somebody else find the hammer, they're going to use the hammer. The hammer's still getting used, it just ain't getting used by you. That's something that we have to understand. So we put ourselves in this situation by deciding that we were not going to worship Yahweh in fullness. Go ahead, Exodus chapter 1, and let's start at verse 8.
Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Now, this is the same problem that we have here. Understand? This is the same problem that we have everywhere we go. Now, because we were used as multiplication machines, because the more slaves you had, the more money you had. All right? Look at us as stocks and bonds, baby. The more of these you got, the more money you have. So we were bred to breed. So this is automatically a problem. We are not hindered when it comes down to breeding. So then somebody has to come up with a plan to keep us from breeding. Go ahead.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it come to pass that when there falls out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
So this was a problem even in our beginning, that it looked like we multiplied too fast. So there's a plan made for us from the beginning. Day one from us as a nation, there is a scare about us multiplying. So then now we are being attacked in our mind that we're not supposed to have but so many kids. And we buy into it. People see me walk in a restaurant with my family and they be like, damn, ain't gonna be no more food. Man. Told you we should have got here early. Look at all them there, all them finna eat, man. We might as well go to McDonald's or something. You know what I mean? I see the look on people's face when we walk in. Hey man, how many of them is it, man? Is this a group? Is this a church group?
Where's the tour bus?
You know what I'm saying? Did y'all come in a van? You know what I'm saying? You know, this guy, let's start asking you questions on fly. So what congregation do you guys belong to? What? Why would you ask me what congregation? Surely this is a church group. This is not one family. Oh my God, this is one family. My God. Go ahead, bro.
Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities.
They built. All right? They didn't command to be built. They wasn't the architects or the bank loan for the building. They physically built these cities, these places. All right? Go ahead.
Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
Right. So then we had a coping mechanism that when we read, bro.
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service, wherein they made them serve, was with rigor.
Right. Even to this day, find the hard job. Look at it and see who's doing it. Find some jobs that look like they are physically strenuous. Look at what kind of people doing those jobs. So when people tell me that they used to be a slave, nah, because if you used to be slave, I would see you have the ability or the aptitude to do certain kind of work. And I don't see you doing none of that kind of work. Even when at your own house, you ain't do it. Go ahead.
And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah.
So now this is interesting. So to attack the numbers of Israel, they want to start at the beginning. Go ahead.
And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
Now, we would say, oh my God, see, there's no way that they would be able to do this today. Understand, when your baby is born at the hospital, they grab your baby, take that baby out of the room where you are, and they go behind some walls. What the hell are they doing behind that wall? What they going on there? We just got to take the baby down to the nursery, and we got to do something. No, we going to the nursery. But sir, only nurses are in there. Well, I'm telling you what, I can tell you what baby not gonna be in there. Well, sir, you could follow me down there. Follow you, I will. And when you turn that corner, if it's too long, I'm coming in there, Miss Gertrude. Now, you're not gonna like what kind, because I'm not gonna be one of these niggas when I get in there. I'm gonna be one of those niggas. You understand? So it better be, I'm telling you, it better be 2.5 seconds. When you turn that corner, I better see you. All right? Don't play with me. Don't play with, I'm not all there. All right? And I'm telling you, the last little bit I got, you about to get it. All right? Oh man, it's a thing here. Why you gotta keep taking this baby out this room? Everything you need right here. Everything, we got it right here. All right? It just came out of there. So what the hell you got in there? It just came. I just watched it come out of there. So what you got down there that this need down there? Everything we need right here. Right here. You see this right here? So whatever that is, won't you go get it and bring it in? Man, you got to be willing to fight these people. Because this attack starts immediately. The doctor that was telling me, childbirth, natural childbirth wasn't natural. Trying to get me to sign some paper. He mentioned, well, we might have to get you to sign a waiver because, you keep trying to let this baby come out naturally. This could harm the child. This could be a problem with the child. He could have some problems. I tell him, hell, that's one of my, hell, I wish the first one would have stayed in there longer. Because, hell, that one, they said, something might have been wrong with him. There you go right there. That boy, smart as a whip. Hell, I should have pushed the other one back in there. You get back in there. You ain't finished cooking yet. Go on back in there. Stay in there. I tell you, set that timer for 45. Give him about another 45. But them young ones, they be crazy like you. See, I was crazy then, so that's what you bring forth. Just what you are. All right, and you got to remember that. Hey, that's what I was when he was born. Okay, then that's what he about. And then he got to slowly come back around. And you just gotta give him time to do that. Go ahead.
Verse 17. But the midwives feared Elohim and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have you done this thing, and have saved the men children alive?
Why you saved the men children alive? Go ahead.
And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them.
Now, why was this even a believable story? They said, no, the Hebrew women made different. Before we even get ready to go in there, they done already delivered themselves. Now, that's an interesting story for them to put forth. that they don't need us. You trying to get us to go in there and kill these babies? But they don't even need us to have these babies. See, now, we have been convinced that we need them to have our babies. We ain't never needed them to have our babies. He said, well, the baby is breech. What? A sister coming.
All right, baby, turn the wrong way. Give him some gloves, put on some soft music. Let's make this thing happen.
Well, you can't stop no sister, boy. I mean, baby may come out a little dizzy. And she turned around too many times. Boy, you can't stop no sister. So we need to have the cesarean section. Sister like,
Give me some extra grease. Come on, give me them gloves. Come on in here. Come on. Boil some water. Let's get this thing happening. Come on, I got something. I got a roast on.
what? She finna take care of this business. And you notice one thing, you're talking to women. Ain't no men in this delivery room. See, this is part of our problem now. Our babies are dying now. What's in there? A white man. Why is there even a man in there? What the hell are they doing in there? See, in the beginning of this book, even Pharaoh knew this ain't no place for no man. This is a job. Women do this job right here. See? And we don't think it's something strange that a man is sitting there in between watching your baby come out of a place that he ain't supposed to be seeing. Looking like he calling, play 22, 14. Hut. Now, call an audible. Now, watch number 14. All right, come on. Now, he ain't supposed to be down there. He not supposed to be down there. Only person calling them play is supposed to be me. More out the way. 22, 14. Come on, baby, we got to do this. Down. Hold it. I'm the only one supposed to be calling them plays. Go ahead, bro.
Therefore Elohim dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared Elohim, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all
You see the power of fearing Elohim? Even when you don't even follow Elohim. They feared Elohim, and he built them houses. They don't worship him. Right. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born you shall cast into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive.
So then we see that the attack went toward the males. So then when you consider the curse, black mothers are 3 times as likely to die. Now, how is it we were able to have babies safely during slavery with no hospital or doctors? We could deliver our own babies in an unsterilized, broken down shack. And in less than a year, the same woman would do it again. It lets you know that white America is about their finance. At that time, the black child was his asset, and he trusted other slaves to take care of his assets. Have I become a conspiracy theorist because I ask, why are we dying now? And we were not dying then. You mean to tell me that an uneducated black woman can deliver babies better than an Ivy League educated white man? Somehow our babies are dying in the hands of Ivy League doctors, but they survive when black slaves delivered one another's children in that broken down shack. Brother, I want you to go and read, because we're going to get into a few things. There is this article, our things of how we're having these issues. We want to go into this thing about first, read that one right there. Read that one. I want to go into that one.
Okay.
And then we'll go into the other one.
Black women over 3 times more likely to die in pregnancy, postpartum, than white women, new research finds. Stark racial disparities in U.S. maternal deaths underscore the need to address equity. In the United States, black-white disparities in maternal mortality deaths related to pregnancy or childbirth may be larger than previously reported. New research shows. Closing the gap involves addressing structural racism, that is, those aspects of social, political, economics, and healthcare systems that reinforce inequity, research says.
Now, understand something. Before, we had midwives. Remember, it talked about the midwives, right? All right. We still had this system of midwives where those midwives would go to the houses and those babies would be delivered in the houses. Understand that we were accustomed to being born in them little shacks. So as time went on, there was no regulation for them. They outlawed them. They made us start going to the hospital. Then all of a sudden we start dying. Now that's just a tad bit peculiar. Now, we wasn't dying when the black woman was coming to our house delivering the baby in the living room. She don't have none of y'all fine material. She don't have none of y'all fine education. She don't have none of that. But somehow, a sister made it happen. Now we go into your hospitals, and now we not coming out. Right. Something don't sound right. Go ahead.
Because pregnancy is riskier to women's health than abortion, state initiatives to restrict abortion could lead to more deaths.
I have to admit that I did not consider. When they did the banning of abortion, I did not consider that part of how many of us seem to somehow be dying in childbirth, and when they ban abortion, because there's certain situations where a person might not be able to carry that baby. They don't care because they want to kill you anyway. Go ahead.
Particularly among black women, new estimates suggest. Black women 5 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related cardiomyopathy, blood pressure disorders, than white women. By thoroughly re-examining death certificates from 2016 and 2017, researchers found that the maternal mortality rate among non-Hispanic black women was 3.5 times that of non-Hispanic white women. This is a dramatic increase from the previous analysis based on standard medical codes that found that black women faced a maternal death rate 2.5 times that of white women, according to Miriam McDormand of the Maryland Population Research Center.
Population research. Okay.
At the University of Maryland, who led the study. The new analysis also revealed that these disparities were concentrated among a few causes of death: postpartum, cardiomyopathy, a form of heart failure.
Right. We've been hearing a whole lot of things about heart failure lately. You know, when I saw the one thing about the brother who was talking about how they ought to make the jab mandatory, that brother died of a heart attack. It seems to be anybody who received that jab and they are still athletic, somehow their heart keeps stopping. You know, but look at how they can blame that on other people. They're saying, well, you know, my 70-year-old mama took the shot. Ain't nothing hell. Well, your 70-year-old mama ain't ran nowhere either. If your 70-year-old mama ran, it was a dog behind her. You understand? Understand that 70-year-old people don't just get out and go running. All right, that's just not what they do. But all these people who decide to be athletic after they done had that shot, it don't look good. It does not look good. They put up all these athletes who have had heart attacks, and some of them died after receiving that jab. Don't look good. But if you look at the side effects, it automatically said some of them were having heart issues in the trials. But because we listen to everybody else, you know, the science says safe. Believe the science. Go ahead.
And the blood pressure disorders preeclampsia and eclampsia were leading causes of maternal death for black women, with mortality rates 5 times those of white women.
5 times. Go ahead.
Pregnant and postmortem black women were also more than 2 times more likely than white women to die of hemorrhage, severe bleedings, or embolism, blood vessel blockage. In the researchers' analysis, embolism and preeclampsia, eclampsia, tied for the leading cause of maternal death across all racial and ethnic groups during pregnancy or within 6 weeks after pregnancy. These were followed by postpartum cardiomyopathy, hemorrhage, and complications from obstetric surgeries such as cesarean sections.
Right. And see, they push us to the cesarean. When you read this in this book, it says when they were on the stools. So they're standing up and gravity is pulling the baby out. First thing they tell you to do when you go to the hospital is lay down. Lay down slows down the contractions. When you slow down the contractions, then they tell you, oh, well, we need to give you, this medicine. Once they give you that medicine and it completely slows down your contractions, then they start having the cesarean section. All of it was a step. You take this step and then you say, oh, this pain is hurting. They say, oh, we can give you something to relieve the pain. It's all the steps to lead to a cesarean. They are experimenting on us. In some of those cases, if you don't ask any questions, the doctor that's in there is a doctor in training. How do training doctors end up in our room? See, you got to know. See, we will ask, and it's a shame that we'll ask more questions about our car.
Wait a minute, man. Hold on, brother. You ever worked on a Cadillac CTS before?
You mean you asked that, but you ain't ever asked?
Excuse me. You ever worked on a full-figured black woman before?
You didn't ask that? But you asked about your Cadillac CTS?
You ever worked on this? This is full-bodied. You sure? You ever touch one of these? I need to see your credentials.
But we want to know if the person is certified who touching the CTS. Our questionnaires is in the wrong area. Go ahead.
I just got a question. Do pregnant women even walk the hospital floors anymore?
No.
Oh.
Bruh, they completely sit you down because they want you to go through their process. That's what the dude was trying to push us to. Man, won't you get stuff out the way and let me cut her open? All right, as long as we understand it's cut for cut. I mean, well, come on, man. Come on. Every way you cut her, I will cut you. So how you want to do this? Look, I sterilize mine. I put some alcohol on it. You can't get rid of all your psychosis, Israel. You got to keep that, because there going to be times that you're going to need that psychosis. And I needed it that day. I needed it. He needed to feel. There's a slightly psychotic individual in the room. He need to know it's a short trip. I can get there in no time flat. Yeah, he need to know. He went over there and sat on the other side of that room. Yeah, he was like, no, that brother don't look like he all wound. Right, he need to know that. It was good for his health to know. Do understand? If one die here, two die in here. You understand what I'm saying to you? You feel him? You feel we need to be together. You understand? Go ahead, bro.
Among white and Hispanic women, causes of maternal death ranked somewhat similarly. However, for black women, eclampsia was the leading cause of maternal death, followed by postpartum cardiomyopathy, embolism, and hemorrhage. Ectopic pregnancy, the fifth leading cause of maternal death for black women, was not a leading cause for white or Hispanic women. Eclampsia is the leading cause of maternal death among black women.
Now, I want to jump to this one thing before we go to something else. Right down here, read the part where it says promoting equity. Turn on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Promoting equity in women's health requires fundamental changes in approach. Addressing the stark racial disparities that McDormand's team highlighted requires fundamentally reorienting the current approach to health care, argues Rachel Hardiman of the Minnesota Population Center at the University of Minnesota. Research and action must be grounded in the understanding that racism is at the root of health inequities. She says, we must first ask, How do systems, policies, and social structures combine to create the conditions for poor health? Rather than asking, what's wrong with people of color that makes them die younger and at higher rates and suffer more illnesses, says Hardiman, who is also director of the new Center for Anti-Racism Research for Health Equity at the University of Minnesota.
Why didn't you just call that anti-Semitic? It's the Center for Anti-Racism Research. Why that wasn't anti-Semitic research? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
As part of a 4-person team, Hardiman documented that black newborns in hospital death rates was 1/3 lower when black newborns were cared for by black physicians rather than white physicians.
Now, if I got a problem, then you need to talk to the health care people because they're the ones that put out these numbers. Somehow, the black babies live when it's a black doctor. Now, they're only giving us that it's a black doctor. Hold on. The babies were still living when there was a black uneducated doula. When there was a black midwife who came and delivered the baby in a back room. They were still living then too. So the death seems to be concentrated on them and their place. But you're looking at the effects of curses. Now let's go to this other one, this Essence article, because this is a thing too that's getting us, and the word has helped us out a lot, and we didn't even know it, because I didn't know nothing about this then. Read that.
Can hair relaxers cause uterine fibroids? If you were considering ditching your relaxer to improve the health of your hair, now there might be good causes to avoid them for your body's health too. A new study published in the American Journal of Epidemiology reports that the use of hair relaxers may increase the risk of uterine fibroids.
But you know, we got to look pretty. See? We got to look pretty. But see, Yahweh said cover your head. But now I want to uncover it. But what I got to do when I uncover it, I want to look like Miss Sarah. So I got to bone straight this thing. I can't use the hot comb like they used to use, because then when I sweat, then it go, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be full bodied. You know what I'm saying? And because I don't want it full bodied, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get this relaxer. Keep reading.
This new research reveals that in a sample of 23,000 premenopausal black American women between 1997 and 2009, black women had reportedly 2 or 3 times higher rate of uterine fibroids. In the case of young black girls, their research shows that there is an association between African American girls who use straightening and relaxer hair oils and the onset of their menstrual cycle.
So it even makes the menstrual cycle come faster because we start using these hair products. And see, part of that was the mental programming that this is how you need to look. See? We bought into that. And hey, I can't talk. Hell, I used to have a perm. And if anybody find them pictures, I will pay for each and every last one of them. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? I'm paying cash money. Cash money, no questions asked. I will not ask where you got those photos, all right? But I will pay you for them, all right? Hit me up on whatsockgot.com. All right, go ahead, bro.
This is earlier than other racial groups, including African Caribbean, Hispanic, and white women. The Mayo Clinic defines uterine fibroids as non-cancerous growths of the uterus that often appear during your childbearing years.
All right, so that's that. Now, let's go to the class action lawsuit.
Hair relaxers and straighteners linked to cancer. Some popular hair products could have dangerous health consequences. An NIH-funded study published in October 2022 found an association between women who regularly use chemical hair relaxer products and uterine cancer.
So we got fibroids and now the cancer linked to the relaxer. Go ahead.
Participants who used hair relaxers were at an elevated risk of developing uterine cancer, endometrial cancer, and uterine sarcoma compared to participants who did not use hair relaxers. And participants who used hair relaxers more than 4 times per year.
Stop. Y'all know how much time we use relaxing? It was damn sure more than 4 times a year.
Cause you know we got to that point. No, I got that new growth. I need you. You see, it's showing my baby hair. You see that the baby hair? I need you to get the baby hair. Soon as it start growing, oh no, girl, that look curly. Get that. Go ahead.
Participants who used hair relaxers more than 4 times per year, more than 2.5 times more likely to develop uterine cancer than participants who did not use relaxers as often. The study also warned that negative health impacts associated with using relaxers had the potential to impact Black and or African American women more than women who identify with other races and ethnicities.
Right, but hold on. Because Yahweh gave us a culture. So then we're going to take off the head wrap. We're going to go do some other stuff, and then it's killing us. You don't even understand how your culture is protecting you, helping you live. Because if you wasn't wearing that head wrap right now, somebody would have just been coming out the salon the other day. I had to get my hair did for church. Right. Go ahead.
Adverse health effects associated with straightener use could be more consequential for African American and or Black women because of the higher prevalence and frequency of hair product use, younger age of initiating use.
Yeah, because see, they had, what? They gave us kid perm. Look, Mom, it's just for me. See, I don't know about the just for me perm, man. See, that was just for the little girl. See, it's just for me. Right. Uh-huh. And I don't know why all you brothers looking, you know what I'm saying, because a lot of us use that S-curl. Don't. See, brothers, don't. Hey, hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. I know some of y'all use that S-curl. I remember seeing some of y'all in the store when I was getting it. Uh-huh. Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
You know, now that you talk about the little kids, they recently interviewed one of the girls that was on the little kids box. That girl said she never used that stuff. That was her natural hair.
Right. I knew a guy that was in the on the S-curl box. A partner of mine knew him, and he introduced me to him. And he was like, "That dude don't use no S-curl, bro." He said he from the Caribbean. He mixed, but he was very dark skinned. So they showed a dark skinned dude with some curly hair, and then you put that gook in your hair, thinking that it's gonna look like that dude. And I was always upset. And I was like, it don't never look like the box. So you know what you do? You go and get another box. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, damn, it don't look like that box either. You know? Right. Keep cooking your brain. That's probably why I can't think right now. You know what I'm saying? Probably them S-curls. Go ahead, bro.
Younger age of initiating use and harsher chemical formulations, i.e. higher concentrations of EDCs and chemicals being regulated or banned than other races and ethnicities. An earlier report from the same study found that frequent users of hair relaxers were more than 2 times as likely to develop ovarian cancer.
Now, you gotta love, y'all looking at this photo, you gotta love that. First of all, Morgan & Morgan, who put together the class action lawsuit, is a white law firm. But you see how they use the sister with the very permed hair for the advertisement. You gotta love how this is happening. The irony is rich. The irony is rich. You gotta pay attention to that. And she just smiled. She just got a perm 2 days ago. Go ahead.
Morgan & Morgan, what are hair relaxers?
Go to our relaxers dangerous on the back.
Chemical hair relaxer products are sold as paste or cream formulations that typically contain phytalates and other hazardous chemicals associated with high cancer risk. The hazardous chemicals are combined with fragrance to act as scents, preservatives, and to allow products to stick to skin and hair.
Right, that's what you need for it to stick to your skin and hair. If you leave it in too long, it sticks to the hair, but the hair, when you rinse it, the hair goes down the drain. And then I remember my first time getting, I'm sure this is not a conversation that you're supposed to be having behind the altar. But I remember, I'm sure my forefathers like, this brother got a perm. Yo, wait, this is who you chose? There wasn't nobody else available but Perm Man. Look, I ain't got now, all right? But I remember first getting one and it started getting hot. And I was like, whoo! And the girl was like, nah, that's normal. I said, is this normal? She was like, yep, you can't fight. Look, don't fight, don't go, you can't rinse it out yet. It ain't gonna be straight if you rinse it out now. I said, I think I'm ready for the rinse. It's getting hot. It's getting hot. She's like, you got to fight through that. I said, I'm fighting, but I don't think I'm winning. And to think that this is what sisters was going through every couple of weeks. Go ahead, brother, go ahead.
Relaxer product instructions direct customers to apply these formulations to their hair near the scalp.
Uh-huh.
And most users must reapply the chemical products every 4
to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks to maintain their straightened style.
Uh-huh.
But FDA does not require chemicals to be labeled individually when combined with perfume or fragrance.
Uh-huh.
And consumers
So they learn how to play the game then. Okay.
And consumers cannot tell from ingredient lists which hazardous chemicals are present in relaxer products.
Mm-hmm. So then this is why there is this class action lawsuit going on there. So that's so all of this is connected to reproduction if you ain't noticing what's happening. So now let's go to the next article.
New study associates intake of dairy milk with greater risk of prostate cancer.
See, there's certain things that happen to you that you think are a problem. Lactose intolerance is a blessing. You didn't know that it was a blessing. See, I didn't have lactose intolerance. I ended up having a prostate infection, and the white doctor said, you know, your people need to find another way to get calcium because this milk is killing y'all. I was like, what the hell you just say? He like, well, I'm retiring next week. It's my last week. I said, well, damn, you get awfully bold that last week, don't you? Then when you know it's your last week, boy, you pull that thing back and show that ass, don't you? I said, dang. I had never heard anybody say that. But I got a heads up. I used to drink milk like it was water. I would take the whole carton, let it just be half a gallon left. I drank that half a gallon would go down right, the refrigerator still open. I was like, oh, I ain't no need to get no cup for that. Bah, take it to the head, right there. And throw the rest of the carton away. I wasn't even drinking milk. Eventually, that came back to haunt me. But that in itself was a blessing as well. Because then you realize some people don't realize that it's a problem until they have this enlarged prostate and they're trying to walk and there's a grapefruit stuck in between their leg. And it look like they in the sack race or something and ain't got but one leg. Like, what's going on? Too late now. Because there were no warning signs. But we are trying to live somebody else's life and it's killing us. Remember the commercials? Milk does a body good. Remember they started putting us on those commercials? They was killing us and they knew it. Go ahead, keep reading.
Men with higher intakes of dairy foods, especially milk, face a significantly higher risk of prostate cancer compared to men with lower intakes, according to a new study conducted by researchers at Loma Linda University Health.
Now, I'm going to also put together or show you this little game that was going on. They start saying, them black men having that prostate cancer because they are very, they promiscuous. See, them black men, they always they use this stuff too much. See, that's what's wrong with them. Whole time they knew what they were doing to make sure that we was having it. But then mess with your mind to make you think that you were too active, that's how you got it. Now you think, well, maybe if I just go and do the crossword puzzle and just leave my wife alone, maybe I won't have the prostate issue. Then you drink the milk while you playing with the crossword. Right. They've been playing mind games the whole time. They've been knowing this. That man told me this over 10, 12 years ago. And I just looked at it. Now, here's the question. If he wasn't retiring, would he have been bold and told me that? If I had to still go back to him the next week, would he have been that bold? See, there was nothing I could say to him. There was nobody I could report to him. And he didn't say it nice either. But I appreciated it. Go ahead.
And that's a problem with us is that even if he did keep the job, like you were saying, nobody to report to, right?
Right.
Because I've got a cousin who's a nurse, and she says she'll go to our people and tell them, don't give your kids these vaccines. And then next week she in the office.
Right.
You can't be telling these people not to do that. Why? Because now you running to go report. She trying to help you.
Right.
But you don't see it. What do you mean you don't give my kids? Who are you to tell me?
Right.
Okay.
That's us. That's us. We kill the messenger. All right? We kill the messenger, especially if the message don't agree with the status quo. While I was in there going back and forth with Dr. Idiot, there's nurses in there. And there's one Jamaican lady, she let me know, but sisters are something else. She could just look at me and she would look. And I was like, oh, that look says she feeling me. You know what I'm saying? After he was gone, me couldn't say nothing, my child. But you were so right, you give it to him. You tell him what you need to tell him. You stand strong like a man. You stand like a man. You fought with him toe to toe. But me couldn't say nothing. Me lose my job. I said, sister, you said all that when you did this. I said, see that's how we was feeling. All that you just said was a confirmation, but I felt it because you gave me that look. She said, I knew you saw me. Yeah, that's all you had to do. I said, sister, keep doing what you're doing. You did your thing. But I know she couldn't say nothing. But then look, she said something. Go ahead.
The study found no such association between increased prostate cancer risk and intake of non-dairy calcium, suggesting substances other than calcium play a role in the risk dairy foods possess for prostate cancer. Our findings add important weight to other evidence associating dairy products, rather than non-dairy calcium, as a modifiable risk factor for prostate cancer, said Gary Frazier, MBCHB, PhD, the study's principal investigator and professor of Loma Linda University, School of Medicine and School of Public Health.
All right, that's all I'm going to do with that. We got a whole article, but we're not going to go to that. Okay, so now let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, and we're going to read verses 21 and 22. It's one thing to just talk about the curses, but you need to see the other side of the curse. Because see, what we will do is to just turn around and put this on the system and the Gentiles. You got to connect that to the curse that we opened the door to by not walking in the culture that was given unto us. You got to connect all of those dots, okay? You can't just say this thing or this thing. No, this is just the switch that he using to whoop you. Why you got to whoop him is because you decided not to walk in the culture. All right? You don't go home and then get mad at the switch. I hate you, old switch. I hate the tree that was brought forth out of the ground that you was made from. I curse the ground. I'm going to burn every switch I ever see in life. You still going to get a whooping. Because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Now he gonna start whooping you with a belt. Now you be, I curse the leather that the belt was made. I curse cows, cause what? For real? For real? You just gonna keep cursing the thing that he used to whoop you instead of, how about not doing what got you a whooping? Go ahead, bro.
Verse 21. Yahweh shall make the pestilence cleave unto you until he have consumed you from off the land, whether you go to possess it. Yahweh shall smite you with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue you until you perish.
All right. Jump to verse 26.
And your carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto all the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away.
And we understand that these things have specifically happened to us. And when other people know that they can't present this, they got to tell you how bad their Holocaust situation was. I am not questioning how bad anything was. I'm only questioning why he didn't write it. That's my only question. If it was that horrific, and the God of Israel knows the ending before the beginning, why didn't he prophesy or write about your future troubles? Because he, distinctly wrote about ours in detail. And we're going to look at some of that detail. Go ahead.
Yahweh will smite you with the botch of Egypt and with the emeralds.
Now, he's telling us that we were going to have healthcare issues. Keep going.
And with the scab. And with the itch, whereof you cannot be healed. Yahweh shall smite you with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
That is even mental health issues. Okay? Astonishment of heart. So he is giving us all of these issues. Now I want you to read. It says something about your body shall be meat unto all the fowls. I want you to read the lyrics to Billie Holiday, Strange Fruit.
Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and the twisted mouth.
Right, this is what happened when you're hanging from the rope. All right? So understand what she's describing. Go ahead.
Scent of magnolias, sweet and fresh.
All right, these trees, these magnolia trees, all right? So they still got a pretty backdrop. Remember that they took pictures under the hanging bodies. Keep going.
Then the sudden smell of burning flesh.
Now, we missed a lot of this. I missed some of this. Even though I saw the pictures, I didn't really get how deep it was with the burning. That this is a part of Gentile, their whole structure. They set things on fire. I didn't really get that. Even with this whole thing that we have with cremating, Yahweh says, from the dust you came, to the dust you shall return. All of a sudden, you have a whole lot of us that,
I don't want to be buried. I want to be cremated, and I want my ashes to be spread out in the sea.
where are we getting this burning from? That's Gentile culture, to set things on fire. So this burning of the body, that's the thing. They would gather to watch the bodies burn. So they gather to watch the person hanged. Then they gather to watch the body get set on fire. Go ahead.
You got to think about it. That's what they was doing with Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael.
Right. It's putting them in the fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you got to think. This is a thing of the heathen. Put them in the fire, burn them alive. And we're going to get to this other thing because I had mentioned it the other week. And praise y'all, Hananiah went and found the book that I was talking about when y'all figured out it was Bill Duke that made the statement, and he went and found that book. And we're going to show that in the next graphic. Go ahead.
Here's a fruit for the crows to pluck.
Uh-huh.
For the rain to gather, for the wind to suck.
Now, didn't the curse say that your body would be left out and all of these things? So here, not only do we have the pictures, but we have lyrics of songs that detail the very things that were in the curse. Go ahead.
That was verse 26, and your carcasses shall be meat unto all fowls of the air.
Uh-huh. And the only way your carcass is meat unto the fowls is if it's not buried, if it's left to hang out. Go ahead.
For the sun to rot, for the tree to drop, here's a strange and bitter crop.
For the sun to rot is drying out and rotten, and they like the smell of rotten meat. And this was common in this time. So now let's go to the next graphic where we have, this was the book that I was talking about, the book Without Sanctuary. Now, do you understand that this book costs $300? Now, why is that book $300? So you can't get it. Because y'all know we'll get a book if you said $3? No, that's $300. Oh, no, that's 20. No, I don't pay $300 for no book unless I got a test. I don't pay. And then I'm going back to the bookstore. Look, I passed. How much can I get? Like 280 back? Ain't but 2 wrinkles in page 27 and 30. That's it. We trying to get that book $300. So you can tell which books they don't want you to get. It's other books that detail some deep things about us. Them books like $1,700, $1,800. They want to make sure that you don't get this information. So what is this? This book details the pictures of us hanging, the details of them setting us on fire. Okay? We didn't put this book together. So when you talk about this situation, it's not us documenting it. It's us finding where they document it. And if you look at all of these people who are standing there posing in the photos. They are open. This is an open thing. And I want you to pay attention. Look at the clothing. Y'all understand these are Sunday rituals, right? So when people start talking about going to church, it would be wrong because you know how they like to join and group all us together, right? It would be wrong if I asked them, so who y'all setting on fire after the church? What? Who y'all hanging and setting on fire? I mean, this is what Christians did. They went to church, they hung some knuckles, and then they set them on fire. So who's the unlucky soul this Sunday? Now I would be wrong for that. Oh, but it's okay for you to merge me in, with these non-baptized purple people. It's okay for you to merge us all into that, but I would be wrong if I merged you in with other Christian groups. I would be wrong if I asked you, so how many, young boys did your pastor molest this year? I mean, he was a Christian just like Ed Alone, right? Oh, but I would be wrong if I did that. But it's okay for you to do that with us. No, man, it's a reason why you see these people in these photos and they're dressed in their good clothes. These are good clothes. This ain't the redneck in his blue jeans and his shirt, t-shirt. No, these are good clothes. So that tells you they going somewhere. They got kids out here standing under these hanging bodies and setting them on fire. Consider that. Go ahead.
If you look at some of them, they were having a picnic.
That's part of what they call barbecue. Barbecue was about setting you on fire. They're coming to eat while watching you burn. One thing that Bill Duke described, and he said it was in the book, where they would tie us on the stick, put us over the fire, and turn us, and let us dehydrate over the fire. You can understand why people don't want you to know certain things. That's why you're going to have a different black history depending on what black person is teaching the history. Now let's read. I want you to read something else out of 1619. We want to read this called Greenwood.
Greenwood by Jasmine Mance. The whistle of an unnatural wind gave word there would be a lynching of a Negro boy who shined shoes. Not a rapist, just a boy, a child boy, teenage boy, 19-year-old boy, still fresh in his days. And a wind that would not know the enormity of its crime until morning filled air with turpentine. An invasion led by Klansmen, a hate that would outdo itself to a menacing ritual of fire, wood, and blood.
A menacing ritual, all right? You need to understand the ritual. That somehow when one black person so-called did something, the entire town was burnt down. There's this ritual of fire. What did the KKK have a tendency to do? Okay, where did they get this from? They were burning bodies. They had a thing for setting things on fire. Okay? Greenwood is Tulsa. Keep reading. Yeah.
The bombs turned clouds into shadows of themselves. Single-engine aircrafts hovered to slow.
Hovered so
low, pardon me.
What are they talking about? What they did in Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they made barrel bombs where you just drop the barrel and the barrel burns indiscriminately. When it hit, the fire goes everywhere. They flew over and bombed the place. How did a lynching turn into a straight war? All on our community. Understand, they got lawyers, they got doctors, they got all of this. Matter of fact, this was their problem. If you wonder why black people stopped wanting to advance, it was the people who had had too much advancement whose houses mysteriously caught on fire. Remember the Greenwood movie? That nigger got a piano. I ain't even got a piano. They wanted to set his house on fire.
That was Rosewood.
Rosewood. Set his house on fire. Just jealous. And everybody knew, we know your wife's lying. We know she's easy. They knew. But they still burnt everybody's house down. They still killed people. And who they wanted to burn? The people who had something. They was mad at that Negro for having a piano. How dare you have a piano? Go ahead.
The bodies under them thought the world was ending, and how could it not be? Run, Negro! 35-ish blocks and a flame that spent days burning itself tired.
Days! It's still burning. Go ahead.
300-ish black folks murdered into anonymity.
Anonymity. Right. They're not even discussing or trying to figure out which ones is dead. Go ahead.
Greenwood has a soggy muck clay, a damp inconsistency of earth, constitution, and bone. Some buried, homeless, in oak lawn, some trampled beneath the dirt. A history tucked away in attic floorboards, long enough to forget all at once was. America has a way of dancing with its own delusion, unable to keep count of its murderers because it then would have to keep count of its murderers.
Right. Can't count the murderers without counting the murderers. Go ahead.
Its good neighbors. All insurance claim denied to the residents of Greenwood and business owners of Black Wall Street.
Right. And we think we doing everything that we supposed to do. We get our insurance, we do all of these things. No insurance claims were paid in Tulsa, Oklahoma. How did they do this? They didn't pass the law saying that it was illegal to pay out on burned property that they themselves set on fire. Right. Go ahead.
And left a people holding their memory through tongue, folklore, blood, postcard, church tale. A people chasing a memory that wasn't supposed to become a memory at all.
All right. So now in Deuteronomy 28, I want you to read 58 through 68.
If you will not observe to do all these words.
So you need to understand. Now, this is just the medical part of the curse. All right? This is one aspect. Go ahead.
If you will not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that you may fear this glorious and fearful name, Yahweh your Elohim, then Yahweh will make your plagues wonderful, and the plagues of your seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon you all the diseases of Egypt, which you was afraid of, and they shall cleave on to you. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, then will Yahweh bring upon you until you be destroyed.
Even every sickness that you ain't even heard, they ain't discovered some of the stuff that I'm going to hit y'all with. Okay, keep going.
And you shall be left few in number, whereas you were as the stars of heaven for multitude.
Right. He said, you're going to be called a minority. See, instead of letting all y'all be in one place, I'm going to keep spreading y'all out. Because, see, I know y'all. If I put too many of y'all in one place, y'all going to take over that place. So I'm going to make sure that y'all can't do that. Go ahead.
Because you would not obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim.
So if you're confused as to why it happened, here it is. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that as Yahweh rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so Yahweh will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught, and you shall be plucked from off the land whether you go to possess it. And Yahweh shall scatter you among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there you shall serve other gods, which neither you nor your fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Right. So learning the teachings of Sunday morning was a part of our curse. Learning Islam was a part of our curse. Us learning this is a little hint of us coming out from the curse. Do you understand how disrespectful it is for Yahweh that we halfway deal with it when he just gave you an open door outside of the curse? Right. Go ahead.
And among these nations shall you find no ease, neither shall the sole of your foot have rest. But Yahweh shall give you there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And your life shall hang in doubt before you, and you shall fare day and night, and shall have none assurance of your life. In the morning you shall say, would Elohim it were even. And at even you shall say, would Elohim it were morning. For the fare of your heart wherewith you shall fare, and for the sight of your eyes which you shall see. And Yahweh shall bring you into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto you. You shall see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
And this is one of the things that you're going to always hear the Ish try to debunk. And why must they debunk it? Because they can't find any place where they were sold. So they have to make this not apply to you somehow. And we fall for the okie doke. We spend our time then trying to prove it, when I wouldn't try to prove it. So, okay, so let's take this out from me. Explain to me how it fits you. This is after Egypt. Explain to me how any time in your past has anything like this happened to you. When were you brought as slaves outside of Egypt? Don't give me the lie of Egypt. This is after Egypt. This is a prophecy after Egypt. Show it to me. Instead of you trying to prove that it is you, no, I tell you what, I'm going to sit back. Show me how it's you. See, you talking when you ought to be listening. No. You don't want to believe what I got to say. I tell you what, I'm going to let you talk. Don't try to tell me how it's not me. Tell me how it's you. You about to get you some real quietness in that room when you go that route. I guarantee you. But let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 1.
Second Kings chapter 1 and verse 1. Then Moab rebelled against Israel after the death of Ahab. And Uzziah fell down through a lattice in his upper chamber that was in Samaria, and was sick. And he sent messengers, and said unto them, Go, inquire of Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron, whether I shall recover of this disease.
Go inquire of Baal, Lord. All right, go ask the Lord, will I recover? Go ahead.
But the angel of Yahweh said to Eliah the Tishbite, Arise, go up to meet the messengers of the king of Samaria, and say unto them, Is it not because there is not a El in Israel that you go to Ekron of Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron, verse 3. But the angel of Yahweh said to Eliah the Tishbite, Arise, go up to meet the messengers of the king of Samaria, and say unto them, Is it not because there is not a El in Israel that you go to inquire of Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron? Now therefore, thus says Yahweh, You shall not come down from that bed on which you are gone up, but shall surely die. And Eliah departed.
Right. So when we have, these ailments, when we look at all of these disparities, how are we trying to cure them? Do we think, if we get a better doctor, if we get a better this, if we get a better that, our main and first thing is to get right with Yahweh? All other things, Yahweh will direct you. Go ahead.
And when the messengers turned back unto him, he said unto them, Why are you now turned back? And they said unto him, There came a man up to meet us, and said unto us, Go turn again unto the king that sent you, and say unto him, Thus says Yahweh, Is it not because there is not a El in Israel that you sent to inquire of Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron?
Now, this is why they turned around, because, first of all, how you know what we were going to do? Go ahead.
Therefore you shall not come down from that bed on which you are gone up, but shall surely die. And he said unto them,
Now, this is how you know folk know what they supposed to be doing. Because then he asked about the man. Go ahead.
What manner of man was he which came to meet you, and told you these words? And they answered him, He was an hairy man, and girt with a girdle of leather about his loins. And he said, It is Eliah the Tishbite.
He knew exactly who it was. Let me tell you something else you need to see right there. They said he was a hairy man. Mm-hmm. I hope y'all paying attention. When folk come in and they catch they folk looking at the video,
You looking at that old hairy Hebrew again.
learn what Yahweh's servants look like. He said, what manner of man was? Oh, he was a hairy man. And he had a long clothing on. It's Eliah. I know who that is. Right. But you didn't want to go to the servant. You wanted to go somewhere else. That's how we do. All right, that's phase one. We'll deal with some other stuff later. Our brothers did send a thing out that Hulu is going to be having some things on the 1619 project. No, they done banned it from schools. So they found another arena to get it in. So that ought to be interesting. So if you get the chance, check it out. Let's see what it do. But that's all that we're gonna do for today. We have new moon when next
Sabbath.
next Sabbath.
Next Saturday.
It's gonna be new moon next Sabbath at sundown. Be prepared for new moon. That's all that we're gonna do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.